there. Welcome to the Private Property Podcast. I'm your brand new host, Sibs Matiela, and we're here to talk all things property. Today we talk about the rise in the first multi-use precinct in South Africa. But before we get to that, I need to let you know all roads lead to the property show.
This year, we're back. In real life and virtual, with content generated in our metaverse studio. We've designed the exhibition space to replicate the world's most popular property game and added in activities for the whole family, including an indoor park and play area. The game board is divided into 4 journeys, namely First-Time Homebuyers Boulevard, Investment Avenue, Sellers Street, and Renters Road. Visit thepropertyshow.co.za for more information and to get your tickets today. The Property Show 2022, 27th to the 28th of August at the Sandton Convention Center. No matter where you are on your property journey, we've gathered the experts.
That's right, you heard it here first. All roads lead to the Property Show. That's happening on the 27th and the 28th of August 2022 at the Sandton Convention Center right here in Johannesburg. You can watch the show virtually from anywhere in the world. I do suggest you be here in person, in real life, in the flesh. And if you want to do that, you can buy your ticket by clicking on the link in the comments. Back to today's topic, though, we are talking about the rise of the first multi-use precinct in South Africa. I'm joined by our special guest, Astrino Nickoloudakis, the Chief Investment Officer at Acsiopolis. Did I say it correctly?
Good enough. So it's of Action Limited, which is the listed vehicle.
Okay.
The building that we're speaking about is the Acsiopolis building. That's down the road in Sandton at 5 Benmore Drive.
Okay, Astrino, could you give me a brief overview of Action Limited and what you guys do?
Okay, so we're a listed property development company. We're one of the only ones listed on the JSE as a property development company. We're not a real estate investment trust. I think some of the viewers would understand the difference between the two. And
For those who don't, because I don't, can you explain it?
100%. So a real estate investment trust predominantly pays out dividends on a quarterly basis.
Okay.
And they need to pay out 75% of those dividends, and investors buy the shares for the income stream. Where a property developer takes on a lot more risk to increase its net asset value, and from now on I'll call it NAV, but for the NAV uplift, and continuously reinvests its cash flow back into the company to grow the business. There are income streams, and we do pay dividends periodically, but it's not compelled by the listing requirements for us to pay our dividends unless the board decides to do so.
The board being you?
No, the board's, we have quite a few members on the board. We've just recomposed it. We have a new chair, Hector Zargas. We have 2 new non-executive directors, and our existing founding member and CEO, Kirako Anastasiadis, as the head and captain of that board. I form part of the executive, which is involved in the day-to-day running of the properties and the property developments, and looking for, as my title may mention, is that the investments into the horizon.
Chief Investment Officer.
Correct.
That's a very nice title.
Thank you. It does get confusing because there's also a Chief Information Officer. So this was specifically with regards to investments. It's as a result of my position on the investment committee, and having to go through the investment committee for any type of new deals that we would like to go through and invest in.
Okay, so we're currently seeing a rise in lifestyle estates, right? But what you guys are offering is a one-of-a-kind offering. Tell me more about that.
Okay, so the traditional model in South Africa is to do lifestyle estates in very large, open planned areas. So you have the likes of the Stain Cities and the Waterfalls of the world, which is very large masses of land. Ours is a little bit different in that it's in the heart of the CBD of Sandton. It's on the edge, and as a result, it's just the same type of lifestyle design, but in a high-rise building, a 21-story. It's 145,000 square meters of gross build area, so it's sizable. And it has anything you could find in a city in one building. So the reason we built it, and maybe we'll take some of your questions away, but the main reason is that there's a huge trend in properties internationally moving towards mixed use. Look at the rise of Dubai over the last 20 years. They all do this, and a lot of it is as a result of them trying to escape, let's call it the weather in Dubai. It's too hot, or they've got limited land mass and they need to build, so they build high. It's exactly the same thing we're doing with the Acsiopolis. Is we had limited land mass and we decided to build up rather than sideways.
It honestly sounds like the best place to be if there's a zombie apocalypse, because everything you could possibly need is contained in that area and that space. What I would ask you is what makes it distinct from other buildings in the area?
We have tried to add as many uses of property in the building. So let me give you an example. Some buildings are either residential, office, commercial, retail. We've decided to put all facets of the property into one building. So we have a creche. So I'm going to start from the young ages, but we've got a creche and childminder services. We have a beauty spa. We have an entire retail component downstairs of convenience. We have an entertainment piazza. We have a hotel of 561 rooms, apartments for lease of 480 rooms, and even co-work space with hot desks, which ticks the box of office fundamental. So all the property fundamentals have been taken into account in this building, and we've gelled them together to create synergies so that you don't really have to leave.
So you offer investments for commercial and residential.
Okay, so I need to clarify a little bit. So our share on the JSE is a property development company, and that's how you invest into Action Limited. The investment we made into Sandton with Acsiopolis is we own the building as the listed fund. So we haven't sectionalized any of the apartments. All the apartments are to lease, and we are the property managers. The hotels also run in-house by ourselves. So we've appointed a whole entire property hotel team to run the hotel and deliver a product that we think the Sandton market needed.
Yeah.
The ideal tenant, for us, to give you an example how convenient it is during COVID we had quite a big migration that went down from Joburg, and everybody went down to the beach, go see the sea. And what happens is we still have the CBDs in Sandton. All the big businesses are still here, so they still need to travel up for meetings or stay here for a week. So ideally this person flies in on the Monday morning, they stay the week, and they fly back and enjoy the view. Now, at Acsiopolis, you'd be able to get your fridge filled.
What?
Yeah, we have a deli. A concierge service. So on Sunday night, if you haven't had your groceries done.
Are you joking? Someone will just sort of pop in and get my almond milk.
Correct. So we're just in the process of building, finishing off the deli, and that would be in the market in the first 2 weeks of August. And that type of experience is what we want the person to enjoy. It's don't hack your lifestyle. It's let's free you up to do what you want to do best and what you love, and be able to do your work without having to worry. There's also a small little, we've designed it in a way that it can be quite express. So once you've stayed with us for a while, you'll get familiar with how the vision of the building and the movement of the building is. We've invested quite a bit into technology with regards to the access controls and the biometrics. We've got number plate recognition for your car that opens up the rooms. You'll have an express. So one thing I dislike when I travel overseas is always having to go and see the receptionist at the hotel. Once you've stayed with us a while and you become part of our loyalty program, we'll get an express check-in. So it means you've got your app on your phone, you've paid, you know the building, you park on the basement, and you go directly to your room. You don't have to see a receptionist. Next time you're getting in contact is for room service, whether or not you're coming in early or late, for that champagne, and that's what you need. So it's that convenience that we've tried to provide to everybody in the building. And there's also a mass. So there's quite a few rooms. It's not like we're not going to run out of space too soon. So in Sandton, there's huge conferences that happen, often. And sometimes there's not enough hotel accommodation. There wasn't. Pre-COVID, when we first designed this, there was a lot more offices and very little residential. So it was very difficult for people to come to Sandton. Now the trend after COVID has moved towards individuals taking that office component that has started to have a bit of vacancy, and they are trying to refurbish it into residential, which, yes, it is competition coming into the market. The one thing that's happened after COVID is also building costs have gone through the roof.
Have they?
Through the roof. And it's a factor of many other things. There's a Chinese shipping crisis, there's the foreign exchange we have an issue with, inflation is coming in, interest rates are going up, so everything's becoming more expensive.
Yeah.
So I don't see people being able to build the same type of building again at the same price.
I was going to ask you, do you think there's high demand right now for this type of structure?
No, I think it is quite bespoke and unique, as you mentioned earlier. It is something that has taken us quite a long time to formulate and develop, with all the different crises that we've incurred in the South African economy and globally.
Yeah.
So with that said, I don't think it's something you replicate. You don't replicate these mega projects. They're projects that you would need to maybe replicate nationally, but not in the same municipality or in the same province, let's call it.
I suppose you'd have to deal with the unique demands and needs of that particular area.
Correct.
But I think what I really enjoy about, your description is that for me, it gives me a sense of freedom. And I think that's part of the thing you are looking for, is just to open people up so that they can use their time to do the things that they really want to do instead of having to deal with admin.
I couldn't have put it better. It's
Yeah.
a very
I mean, if
short
I
and
could
sweet
walk
one.
into a place and the almond milk was already there, sign me up.
As easy as that sounds, there's a lot in the background having to get that right. And there's a lot of protocols and controls in check to make sure they're there. So one of the philosophies also is we'd like to make the person feel secure and safe in the building. And it's also one of the things why we actually want to run the property, so we can
Yourselves, yeah.
maintain the standards and the quality that we built the building
I
for.
suppose, and then you'd know everyone who comes in and out, which service providers, which vendors, and there's a way to, suppose, track things.
There is well, it won't be surveillance like that, but
Yeah.
you must remember, as a listed company, we have an onus to do things right and be able to bring the right product to the market. So that's kind of what our responsibility is as an executive team, and we're trying to do that at Acsiopolis. It's been a long road, and it's exciting. I must say, it's a challenge that hasn't been experienced by many people, and we are getting quite a bit of advice from overseas as well, and we're taking some trends that are coming from overseas, and that's, I think, what South Africa needs. The South African property market needs some trends that come in from overseas.
I think, speaking of the South African property market, research is showing that there's, a decline. We're seeing a decline. Do you foresee any positive changes?
We do see pockets. I know that sounds very like buzzwordy, but
Pockets of growth.
yes, it's just pockets. There's flavors of month. So property works on a wheel, and now the wheel is sitting on logistics, and everybody wants to have storage, and they all want to go into this new economy as a result of COVID, and the guys who are in logistics, their share price is doing well. Tenants are giving them the rentals they need to continue the developments. I see quite a big growth in the Cape Town market. I think that's one of the provinces that is growing the most and has got an area that is looking to continuously want to grow. In Johannesburg at the moment, there's a lot of competition, and the big property players play in the industry and they own most of the properties. In Cape Town, it's a little bit more selective, and there are areas where they are growing faster than most of the provinces in South Africa.
Why would you say that is? I mean,
I couldn't
I'm
pinpoint
from
it.
Cape Town, so I was born and bred. Shout out Wymer Girls High. And for me, like, notoriously, Cape Town property prices for, buying and for renting are just outrageous. It becomes incredibly difficult if you are trying to be close to the city to find, enough space for what you're paying for. So this is a really interesting thing that you're saying, because is it spreading out to like other areas? Where is this growth happening?
So, as an ex-Capetonian, if I can call you that,
Okay, yeah.
I think the traffic hurts in Cape Town.
It's
And
bad.
It's
When
very
I
bad.
moved to Joburg, seriously, people here would say, oh my gosh, the traffic in Joburg is so awful. But Cape Town traffic is so much worse.
the bad.
It's awful.
But you also picked up a point when something is too expensive, there's always room for an entrance. It's not a barrier to entry. It actually becomes, for players like ourselves, that's exactly where we play and we invest. We enjoy markets that are overly priced and the price point is too high, and they're desperate for something that's affordable.
Yeah.
And not affordable, cheap and nasty, but
Affordable
with
luxury,
quality,
yeah.
luxury, exactly what you built in Acsiopolis. So we'd love to do something there if we could. So yeah, because we're talking property, I might be giving away a little bit of our secret ingredients, but it's just where the vision is in my mind. It's not the position of the company, but it is where I think we would start looking a little bit more. But saying that as well, South African property skills are very strong. We've got some great dogons in all the listed property companies, and they've all gone overseas. And it's nice as a diversification play for a fund, once you start hitting a certain size, to look to diversify internationally, which we have done. And we have gone to Cyprus and built a mall in Larnaca of 40,000 squares, which we're very proud of. It's a very cutting edge, well-designed mall that has brought the citizens and people of Larnaca something that they never had before. So those type of investments is what we try to do, and they take time. The one thing about us is that we are very patient. Property is a patient game, it's a long game.
But your projects are also mega projects, so they would take time.
Now they are mega projects. Initially, when we first started building, we were a lot smaller, but as a result of some of the demand that is in the pockets of, or the areas that we're looking in, you need to make them mega. For us to achieve our investment hurdles and to return to our investors a decent return, what they'd expect, we do need to make them chunkier deals now.
Okay. Any future plans?
Keep on growing.
No, I mean,
Simple as sweet. and it is that. It's keep on growing. It's
so where are you building next? That's what I'm asking you.
I'd love to know
give
as
me
well.
more. Give me more.
We're hunting everywhere, and if I tell you, all over the world, we don't stop looking for deals. It was told to us quite a few years ago you'd never be able to get involved in Santon at the rate you were trying to get in, and we did it. So we can. We've shown it in the past, so our track record is there. I can't pinpoint it right now for you because that would be giving away too many secrets. And as a listed company, I do have a responsibility to keep a little bit of those secrets. But we are aggressively looking for deals in the market that suit our investment criteria. I know it sounds very, like I said, on the boardroom table, but it is that. Property is very complicated, as simple as the fundamentals are. To get it right is a special recipe that each and individual property guru or property specialist does.
So you're not going to give me the name of a town?
No, not yet.
Give me a province. No?
We don't know. No,
Okay.
not at the moment.
I did my best.
No, good try.
Thank you, Astrino, for being with us today.
And thank you for having me.
I'd really like, I'm going to
Enjoy
come
speaking to
see, because I want to see how quickly the milk comes to my fridge. That's what I'm going to, and then I'm going to tell all my friends to come as well. So, Astrino Nickoloudakis, I said it correctly, joining us on today's episode of the Private Property Podcast. It is time for the competition moment. Someone gets to walk away with a whopping $500 in cash and a ticket to the property show happening at the Santon Convention Center on the 27th and 28th of August 2022. Who is the winner today? Drum roll. Shh. I really need someone to get me a kit or something, because doing it myself just seems super sad. Congratulations, Balisa Selani. You have won the $500 in cash and a ticket to the property show. If you would like to attend the property show, which we strongly suggest that you do, if you click on the link in the comment section, then you should be able to get your hands on some of those tickets. Otherwise, thank you for joining us for today's episode. I'll see you again tomorrow.
This year, we're back. in real life and virtual with content generated in our metaverse studio. We've designed the exhibition space to replicate the world's most popular property game and added in activities for the whole family, including an indoor park and play area. The game board is divided into 4 journeys, namely First-Time Homebuyers Boulevard, Investment Avenue, Sellers Street, and Renters Road. Visit thepropertyshow.co.za for more information and to get your tickets today. The Property Show 2022, 27th to the 28th of August at the Santon Convention Center. No matter where you are on your property journey, we've gathered the experts.